Guys, the amazing world of Gumball movie and the brand new series accompanying it has become one of the biggest mysteries in animation. What's happening? Where is it? After being announced nearly 2 years ago, it's gone through the absolute ringer in the hopes of making it to our television screens. And with the conflicting reports of the movie being cancelled and being shopped around to other streaming services beyond HBO Max, it's easy to get lost in a sea of misinformation. So, to get everyone on the same page, we're going to recap everything we know about the film and the new season, pulling out all the receipts, all the knowledge. You're gonna be leaving this video feeling big-brained, let me tell you. So let's waste no time and get into recapping the journey of the Gumball movie. Throughout the production of Gumball, particularly towards the end, creator Ben Boclet began planting the seeds for a movie, sharing on Twitter that he had stories for both a TV movie and a theatrical movie. In summer 2019, Gumball came to an end with The Inquisition, a finale that underwhelmed many fans as despite its surreal premise of Elmore being transformed into live-action humans in order to pass as normal, the episode concluded on an unsatisfying cliffhanger. Superintendent Evil was revealed to be none other than Gumball's rival, Rob, who was seemingly trying to save all of Elmore from being engulfed into the void, a location where characters and objects are sent after being purged from existence, being written off as mistakes. The final moments of Gumball being Elmore Junior High falling victim to the void as Rob's mission was unsuccessful. Now, both the Void and Rob were the only serialized elements of Gumball, with the Void itself making appearances since season 3, starting with its titular episode. In The Oracle, Banana Joe's mom, Banana Barb, was revealed to be able to see the future with her paintings, with one of them being the Wattersons terrified, witnessing the Void tearing apart their neighborhood and reality itself, a prophecy that was sure to pass real soon. In season 6's The Future, Rob kidnaps Barb in hopes of learning from her paintings, but pretty much all she can paint is the empty void, until the very end of the episode, where we see Barb paint the now infamous cliffhanger of Rob falling into the void, as seen in the current series finale, The Inquisition, followed by Banana Barb stating that there is no future. After that, the episode cuts to static, where you can see a silhouette of Superintendent Evil. God, this show's foreshadowing is crazy. Please just give them a movie. It was revealed that the Gumball movie would finally conclude this long-running Void saga, as Ben Boclet himself came to Twitter after the finale with a message. Quote, "I know it's daunting. Please stop coming after me. It was not my choice to land the last episode that way. But know that if we do the movie, everything lands in a pretty cool way." End quote. Now, a lot of fans weren't thrilled by that wording, because it more or less made the movie sound like a pipe dream. But fans held on hope that something would come out of all of this mess. From here, things would go radio silent for nearly 2 years, until February 17th, 2021, when Cartoon Network tweeted, "Gumball movie in development." That's it, that's the tweet. Now, this understandably blew up the internet, causing Gumball to hit trending pretty much immediately, as everyone was excited at the confirmation that we would see our beloved blue cat once again. But there was just one catch. Development doesn't necessarily mean that the movie was 100% coming out. It's pretty common for projects of any kind to get stuck in development hell for one reason or another. Time, resources, cast, crew, everyone and everything can have commitments in the way that prevent something from moving forward, even if that something is the conclusion to one of Cartoon Network's biggest original series. Luckily, things wouldn't stay stagnant. Another major update would come on September 21st, 2021, as it was announced Gumball would not only be returning with the movie that was officially greenlit by HBO Max, but also with a brand new series. Boclet will direct and executive produce the movie, it's a working title, which features a script written by Shane Mack and is designed to serve as a bridge between the original series and the new one. The film begins when Gumball's biggest fan finds the show's missing episode and accidentally opens a portal connecting his world to Gumball's cartoon world. Upon meeting his heroes, our superfan decides to team up with Gumball, Darwin, Anais, Richard, and Nicole to save them from a nefarious foe overtaking Elmore, which inadvertently unleashes a threat of their very own. Quote, "We could not think of a better show to kick off our first batch of Project Greenlights under the Hanna-Barbera Studio Europe banner. With this movie and new series, we have an amazing opportunity with Ben to provide a satisfying conclusion that Gumball fans have been hoping for, while also establishing the next chapter of this charming, colorful, and inventive series. Hell yes! It's not just in development anymore, baby. It's not just a pipe dream. It's actually going to happen. Right from the horse's mouth. We're not making this up. We don't have to gaslight ourselves anymore." So with the movie and new series underway, it seemed like Gumball fans were going to be eating good in the future. Emphasis on seemed. 2022 was a rough year for Cartoon Network and HBO Max's parent company, Warner Discovery, fresh off the heels of another merger with a mega corporation in massive debt that 2 mergers couldn't get the company out of. It was time for the people in charge to make drastic decisions. Cancellations were brewing and agendas were changing, so on August 22nd, 2022, it was revealed that the Gumball movie, alongside other marvelous projects such as Batman Caped Crusader, would not be moving forward at HBO Max. Not cancelled, at least not yet, but not guaranteed to make it out alive either. Batman Caped Crusader, which 15 months ago received a series order from HBO Max and Cartoon Network, is among 6 animated projects that are no longer being produced for HBO Max, sources confirmed for TV Line. TV Line hears that all 6 projects, mostly from Warner Brothers Animation, will continue production while they're shopped to other outlets. At this point, just throw me into the void, bro. I don't know how much of this roller coaster I can take. Now, this is partially speculation, but with the money being real funny over at Warner Brothers Discovery, it seems as if Cartoon Network can't fund this movie in its entirety without seeing any returns on it, which, even if it aired on Cartoon Network, the revenue from TV ads alone wouldn't cover it, at least according to our speculation. I mean, in an age where premieres barely pull in 300,000 viewers, it just doesn't seem likely. HBO Max taking on this movie meant something. Maybe funding from their end, maybe their guarantee of this movie being exposed to a wider audience, helping net more subscriptions from families, who knows. But now HBO Max won't even exist a year from now, so any speculation on the platform itself is kind of null and void. Thankfully, Ben would break his silence on the matter September 1st, 2022. When asked about the state of the movie, he responded, "It's a bit of a Schrodinger's cat question at the moment, but deep in my heart, I believe the cat will live." That's really clever, because it's a cat. It had Schrodinger's cat. Okay, I'm moving on. And unfortunately, this is where news about the movie pretty much ends, except for one thing we'll save for later. For now, let's switch gears to that mysterious new TV show, because apparently it's being produced as season 7. Fans found a LinkedIn post from an employee who will keep anonymous because it just feels kind of weird to broadcast someone's work life in order to talk about a silly little cartoon. But this person will be series producing, in their own words, Gumball Season 7 for Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe. Awesome, but I thought it was a new series. Not that it really matters, it's more Gumball. Still, let me try to explain. Even if this show was called something other than The Amazing World of Gumball to distinguish itself from previous seasons, it does make sense for it to just be ordered and produced as a regular old season of Gumball. Other shows that have rebranded in the past have followed a similar pattern. Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, for example, was still just produced as Alien Force in-house, and Steven Universe's 20-episode epilogue series, Steven Universe Future, was produced as Season 6. Despite there not being a season 6 in branding. So regardless of how this new season correlates to the movie or not, it does make sense for it to just technically be season 7 in production terms. The real question is, will these new episodes be independent of the movie or not? Given that the movie was meant to bridge the gap between the old season and this new show. Honestly, we'll have to wait and see. But going back to that one thing we saved for later, a Variety article with the new head of Cartoon Network, who also runs Adult Swim, Michael O'Lean, casually listed the Gumball movie as one of 6 projects that was cancelled at HBO Max. Some fans took this for the movie being dead in the water. Others took it for a rephrasing of what we've known since August. But this Variety report notably doesn't say that these projects are being shopped around anymore, which isn't a great sign. And there really isn't a way to dispute it either way, beyond speculation, based on this little information we have. Ben has been pretty silent on Twitter over the last few months, likely focusing on Gumball as a whole and just enjoying his privacy. So all we can really do is hope someone does take interest in buying the movie, which why wouldn't they? It's Gumball. This show's blowing up on TikTok every single day over footage of some guy cutting soap, okay? Please just make this movie. I think the issue is just the fact that the only platforms I could see this movie ending up on is Netflix or Hulu, as they're both the most accessible, but Netflix has been dealing with their own slew of problems. Who knows if they can even afford to buy the movie? Not to mention it could rub Nickelodeon the wrong way, and Netflix does have a long-term deal with them. As for Hulu, I feel like hits on Hulu, at least those that are on the same level as Netflix hits, are very rare, and you rarely see them buy new content for a pre-existing property. It doesn't mean that it's improbable or that the movie can't end up anywhere else, like, I don't know, Amazon, the Roku channel. It worked out for the Weird Al movie. At the end of the day, I just want to see Gumball and his family overcome the void and live their best lives. I do hope that in the worst case scenario, Cartoon Network does just bite the bullet and air it on TV, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'm just gonna look forward to any new Gumball content we're gonna get and pray every night that this movie sees the light of day. That being said, I would love to know what you guys think about this. How did you feel about the Gumball ending? Would you watch this movie? Do you hope they make it? Are you gonna watch new episodes if they make them? them? Are you not? Let us know in those comments down below, or tweet to us at Roundtable Vids. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop with all things animation. As always, guys, I'm Nemo, this is a Gumball breakdown, and I'll see you next time. Peace.